Hello everybody, how's it going? It's been a while since I've made another video, but it's been a week and I've had a cold and it's been all over the place. But welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about braking, about ABS, and about the emergency stop on the UK driving test. So if you're interested in any of that, I might be able to help you with that today. As silly as it could potentially sound, braking is something that a few people don't get quite right. And it's something with modern cars, with technology like ABS, that there's a couple tricks to it to get it spot on, and especially with your emergency stop on the test. If that comes up, you want to be confident and you want to know exactly what you're doing. Talking about stopping distances, most books will quote 75 feet from around 30 mile an hour and 315 feet from 70 mile an hour. I did just cheat there, but that figure, I'm not going to say it's bollocks, but it is vastly different from car to car. That's your kind of standalone figure that you can kind of roughly aim for, and that will be sort of, I think it was something like, it was from a Mark II Escort or a Cortina. So it is going to be different, especially with ABS, depending on the tyres you have, the weight of your car, the situation, the road conditions, and your reaction time. So all of those will add up to shorter or longer stopping distances, and it's something that you can work on and improve on the more you drive. Keep in mind too that in the wet your stopping distance will at least double, and they say in icy conditions it's 10 times. So the conditions do vastly affect how long it takes your car to stop. The best thing you can do is get used to your car and how it reacts to braking, and get it to stop at its full potential. You need, if you can, a space that's private, that you have permission on, and there's nothing to hit. Please practice where there's nothing to hit first, so that if you do lose control of the car, it's savable and everything like that. Because at full braking, your car is slightly unstable. Big steering inputs and things like that will increase the chance of you spinning it, of doing interesting things like that. So please be careful when you're trying this. And make sure there's no one behind you if you're practicing emergency stops too. Get someone else in the car with you if you're learning, because you need that, obviously, but they can be a second pair of eyes, checking behind you, all sorts like that. One of the key factors with how fast your car's going to stop is how well maintained and looked after your brakes and tyres are. If you're not looking after one of these two things, or even both of them, you're not going to have a good time. Make sure you've got a good set of tyres on your car and that you have at least 1.6mm tread. All that basic stuff. Try and avoid budget tyres if you can, in my opinion. Go for some good set of rubber, because it is going to make a difference. And it might shave off a few feet off that distance, and you know, that few feet could be the difference between you ending up in someone's door or you avoiding someone. So it is worth considering if you've got the cash for it. Keep an eye on your brakes, keep them serviced. If they're rusting really badly, if they've got particular big grooves in them, or they are screeching, then get your pads changed, get new discs if you need it, keep them maintained, because tyres and brakes, two most important things on your car. Keep an eye with your brakes as well, is if you stand on the pedal and the pedal feels really spongy, like there's no resistance, or it just hits the floor, get that serviced to get that worked on. You know, you could be leaking brake fluid, you could need your system bleeding, all sorts of fun stuff. So again, keep them checked. It is very important. So all modern cars are, well, most of them, 99.9%, are fitted with ABS, which is an anti-lock braking system. What ABS will do is it will just stop your wheels from locking solid when you're on full brake pressure. So when you stand on the pedals, it will stop your wheels just locking up and sliding, and this will stop you being able to turn as well. And if the rears of your car locks, you could spin as well. So it's not entertaining when your wheels lock, and it is savable, because in certain race cars, in older cars, you could sort of, people used to say you had to pump the brake pedal if your wheels locked. It's more a case of releasing it until they grip up again and then getting back on the pressure. But in your car with a modern ABS system, you shouldn't have to worry. Remember that ABS will let you steer and brake at the same time too, so if you have to avoid someone, you can. When ABS is working, it will tend to feel like there's a hard vibration through your pedal. So it will feel kind of violent in a way. It'll be like, it'll be a really hard vibration. You will feel it, but don't worry, this is the car working for you. Your brakes aren't broken. It is just something that has to happen for ABS to work properly. And when you get to this point where it feels like your pedal's really shaking quite violently, just keep the pressure on. Don't back the pressure off, because if you keep it there, you're going to be at full braking capabilities. If you're backing off, then you're just wasting potential braking. So ABS as a thing is something that, again, it's very, very helpful, and don't be afraid of it. If you can practice, do, because what it's going to sound like from 20 miles an hour is something like this. Okay, you hear that? I hope the camera can kind of pick that up. I will try that again. It's quite a raspy noise, and it feels through the pedal as if someone's kind of shaking your foot. Again, keep that pressure on, and you can hear that noise, that vibrating sound, and that is your car's brakes pulsing on and off to stop your wheels from locking. And again, that maintains the pressure for you. So if you were in an old car, you'd have to be working, you'd have to be doing that same effort, but it's doing it a lot faster than you could. So it's awesome. It really is awesome. In race cars, it's fantastic. It makes it so much easier. So try not to be ridiculously violent and stab the pedal, but you need to be fast and you need to be firm. So people talk about progressive braking, building the brakes up slowly, so braking gently and then increasing the pressure. But you need to do that very quickly. So it's not the case of, you know, gently pressing the brakes, then increasing it. It's the case of you can get over to the brakes very fast. Like you can go stab straight over. That's absolutely fine. But it's when you do really violent brakes, stump, and you steer really hard, what's gonna happen is you're gonna unsettle the weight of the car. It can get you into slides. So that's why people say be progressive, because you need to build the suspension up. You need to weight up the tires before you really put too much effort on them. People worry about sometimes whether you have to put the clutch in straight away or if you have to wait until you've almost come to a stop before you put the clutch in. And I say the answer to this is, if you're in an emergency stop situation, as long as you get the car stopped, that's fine. But you need to aim to put the clutch in as late as possible, really. You don't need to think about it. It's just something that you get on the brakes first, and then as you start to brake and you're on the brakes, then you can kind of get the clutch in. If you're driving from sort of 30, 40 miles an hour, as you get on the brakes hard, it doesn't take long for you to stop, really. So as you get on the brakes, you can then transfer over to the clutch just after you're on the brakes. Don't do both at the same time. I think that's the goal, really, unless you're going 2 miles an hour where you're going to need to. So on the driving test, the maneuver will be made very obvious to you. They will get you to pull over and they will describe it to you. They will say that when it's safe, they will raise their hand and say stop. They will check behind you and everything, and you almost see them do this. They'll kind of do a behind check. Before they say stop, don't try to predict them. You just have to be as fast as you can to their reaction. Smooth but firm braking, okay? Keep your hands on the steering wheel, normal positions. You know, don't death grip the steering wheel. Don't try and rip it off the steering rack. Be firm on the steering wheel. Keep it straight. Be smooth, firm with the pedal. Get the car stopped, get the clutch in, and put the car in neutral. Handbrake up if you need to, and you'll be fine. Make sure that before you move off again, do your full checks across over your right shoulder, all your mirrors, and your left shoulder too, because it's the sort of thing where in an emergency situation, they'd want to know that you made sure it's safe before you move off again and that there's not like a kid under your front wheels. So it's going to be something like this. We'll just run it over quickly. When you're up to speed and you've been asked to move off after he's explained the emergency stop to you, he will then check and then raise his arm and say stop. You'll just get on the brakes, on the clutch, put the handbrake up, put it in neutral, and there you go. Make sure to check around after you're done, all the way around, your mirrors and everything. Move off and carry on from there. Don't worry about your mirror. This is the only maneuver you'll do where you won't check your rear mirror to stop on the test. And if you ever practice a emergency stop on the road as well, please do it with a proper examiner, instructor, sorry, because they're going to do the proper checks around you to make sure it's safe, that no one's behind you. Because if you just stop for no reason in the road with someone behind you, the chances of someone driving into the back of you are actually very high. So please be careful in that respect. I don't want any of you having rear-end accidents. That doesn't sound fun in normal life, let alone cars. So again, don't worry about ABS too much. We'll do another demonstration actually. So again, the examiner will check behind you and everything. Don't worry about checking your mirrors before an emergency stop, because you need to focus on getting the car stopped and safely out of the way. So you're not going to have time to check your mirrors, because it will just be he'll check, he'll say stop, he'll raise his hand, and you'll just go straight on the brakes. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got a little bit out of this video today, and that it made you a little bit more confident with the brakes and the emergency stop procedure on the test, and ABS in general, and the fact that it helps you and isn't something to be avoided. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see from future videos. Subscribe, like, and all that beautiful stuff if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in the next video. Drive safe.